special live stream on a weekend today because I went to the protest in my city. So I'm in the Kitchener-Waterloo region, and there was a protest in our area. So I went and covered it. So today I'm just going to let a couple of people join in. So I'm going to talk with the chat for a little bit at first. But I'm going to then show you the reality of the protest and then what the media has portrayed the protests as. So similar to what happened in the rest of Canada, the local media is also lying. The same lies that are happening with Ottawa are happening on a smaller scale in the small cities all across Canada. And this is the one I can speak of because I was there and I then read the coverage, and I can point out the lies and the omissions and the faulty things that are happening. So, okay. Hey guys, I'm just opening up the chat here. Hi Tasseniko, Stavros, hope you guys are well. So my nose is red, my cheeks are red because I just came back and I'm freezing. I'm still so cold. I just came back from the freedom protest in my area. And yeah, it was really fun. So first of all, let me just say that there were people of every color, every religion, and every age, like everything, and different religions too. Did I say that already? Different religions? Anyways, so and it was very peaceful. There were no incidences. So I mean, any of the white privilege narrative, that's done with. Like, honestly, if you still believe that there is a white privilege narrative in here, then you are truly thoroughly brainwashed, because I saw people of all different kinds of color, people of mixed races, everything, all fighting for freedom. So all together fighting for freedom. So what happened in Toronto, guys? So Canadian Rebel, what happened in Toronto? Is there an article I can pull up so we can look at that? I don't even know what happened in Toronto. I've been following Ottawa and Winnipeg, which had the car crash yesterday. The Liberal who ran over 4 people, injured 4 people by plowing his car through, kind of jihadi style, into the Freedom Convoy out in Winnipeg. And of course, that was not covered by the media. So anyways, yeah, I don't know what happened in Toronto. I didn't follow that at all. So, but yeah, Toronto is kind of a disaster as a city. Sorry, the traffic there is just awful. I hate going to Toronto. So anyways, hey again, Cotton. Hey, Howard. Yeah, I don't know what happened in Toronto. So people in the chat, if you can just give me a couple keywords I can look up. Let me look it up to see if I can actually even find something in Toronto. Toronto. I don't know why it was a disaster. Ours in Waterloo was really awesome. That's the one I was at today and yesterday. So we went both days. Let me see. Freedom Convoy protest. Let me just see if there's anything that'll come up. It looks like there were some arrests. Is that what we're talking about? There were arrests in Toronto? It's very possible. I'm not sure. I know that some of my friends were at the Toronto protest 2 weeks ago for the mandates. That was before the trucker thing, for the freedom protest out in Toronto, and it was fine. So I don't know what happened. Was it the counter protesters? Oh, yeah. So it looks like the counter protesters were over in Toronto. I'm going to show you kind of like the joke of a counter protest that we had in our area. Maybe we can look at Toronto after that. Yeah, I could see that here. It looks like it's the counter protesters. By the way, I've noticed the counter protest symbols, like their signs that they have, are the same everywhere. So it's like they got like a memo saying, okay, make this poster of this and this cardboard sign of that and go, right? So I'll show you. Okay, I hope everybody's having a really good weekend so far. I'm still freezing, so if I sound weird, it's not because I drank too much. It's because I'm still cold. I have a really hot coffee here. Oh my gosh, it was so cold. Not as bad as 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was far worse. Okay, so here's what happened in my region. I'm going to show you guys, and let me just get my earbud in, make sure that I don't blast some honks in your ears by inadvertence. So here. Okay. So this, I'm going to start with this article from the CBC. So, of course, Kitchener-Waterloo region, no place for hate speech, says Karen Redman. I don't know who Karen is. I live here and I have no idea who this is, but as it's probably probably a Liberal candidate, that would be my guess. Liberal employee. Anyways, as Waterloo braces for convoy protest, it braces. Oh no, doom! Everybody must panic. They love to make people panic about everything at the CBC. Like, oh, Kovitsky, panic for 2 years, and now, oh my God, brace for the convoy protest. So, what happened is an hour before the convoy showed up on Saturday, the police blocked the main road, like every town in Canada. We have a street called King Street, and they blocked King Street so that the convoy of trucks couldn't go. Now, that did not deter the convoy. The convoy, what they ended up doing is they ended up going around the whole thing and just go around and around, and they were honking, and it was amazing. And everybody congregated that was with the signs and everything that weren't driving. They were all in the middle of what we call Waterloo Town Square, which is kind of our town square. It sounds so like such a small city when you talk like that. It's a town square. Anyways, so they closed up the main street so the trucks couldn't go in front of it. And that was on Saturday. And now, of course, the CBC is all butthurt because there was an online poster for an event that's been circulating. And it's not clear who was organizing this True North Strong and Free. Like, this is offensive to the CBC. I can't believe this. But CBC Kitchener-Waterloo has not been able to make contact with anyone connected with the poster. It's because you guys at the CBC, you forgot what journalism is. So you don't know how to research stuff on your own. So when it comes time to actually look for stuff, you guys just don't know how to do it. That's why you couldn't find the person. I bet you my kids could find it just by going through TikTok. But yeah, so you guys weren't able to find out who was responsible for the poster because you're so used to just spewing out the narrative that's given to you. You're given a script and you report that as news. So of course you weren't able to find who made the poster. The poster appears to show, like, who works at the CBC? Seriously, the poster appears to show a route map. Well, does it show the route map or not? Like, it appears to show. What is happening? Roughly the same area closed by the police. And the poster says, all vehicles welcome. And so, oh yes, the regional chair says there's no place for personal attacks or hate speech in Waterloo region. Now, Waterloo region is a very peaceful place. There's like virtually no crime. So why are they bringing this up now, right? It's so strange. It's all part of the fear mongering. So I don't want to see what happened in Ottawa happen here, she said, as if it was a problem in Ottawa. So in Ottawa, even the Ottawa police has come out saying that crime has gone down since the convoy showed up in Ottawa. So it's just, this is complete. They're just playing into the narrative. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, entirely fake news. Absolutely, Art. 100% fake news. It is insane. Okay, so she did a media briefing on Friday morning, and of course, Black parliamentarians say protest convoy is a venue for white supremacists. Like, what are these people smoking? Are they out of their minds? Do they have any idea what it's? The freedom movement is not about color. I know it's hard for the leftists to step out of the matrix because they view everything as a racial problem, but the freedom, we don't care. It has nothing to do with color. It's nothing to do with supremacy, white supremacy, Black supremacy, Chinese supremacy, Asian supremacy, nothing to do with any of that. It's 100% about, hey, you know what? I would like to be able to live my life without being mandated by my government to take any form of drugs, vaccines, injections, anything you want to put in my body. I would like the right to say no as a free citizen of my country. So how how race became a part of this is because the left, the people who are anti the Freedom Convoy, have painted that narrative themselves. There was none of it. Like, freedom does not care about race. Okay, I hope whoever participated in activities over the weekend, that was me, I was there. So I participated in these gloomy activities, a convoy, oh my goodness. And, respect the rule of law, private property, and doesn't promote white supremacy, hate, and racism. And like I said at the start of the stream, every race was there. Like, legit, every race from the world was probably at the protest in Waterloo, because we are such a mixed city. There's so many different types of immigrants here that, yes, we have like literally every race. So we have two big universities here and a third one very, very close. So we have a lot of students that come from all over the world. So we have a very, very diverse, like, this should be the wet dream of the leftists, to have such a diverse group of mixed races all living together peacefully. I don't understand why they're not promoting us more than and attacking us for white supremacy in Waterloo. I saw Mennonites too at the Freedom Convoy. They were in their van and they were honking and they had the Canadian flag. I saw there was a huge Muslim family that was there all together with their Canada flags. I even talked to, I'm really shy, so I don't do well in these. This is why I didn't live stream from where I was, but I'll show you some video. But we talked very briefly with a Chinese couple that were here, and they were first generation immigrants, and they were saying that they actually fled China because China was doing what the government is doing now, and they were at the protest to try to wake up Canadians. So there was every color. I'm so tired of this racist card. It's been so overplayed that it's just irrelevant anymore. So anyways, okay, so the convoy, so there had Toronto protest and Ottawa, of course. Now, will transit shops or skating be effective? So my kid just asked me if he can take a candy, and he does this when I'm either in a meeting at work or on a live stream because he knows I'll say yes. I don't have time to negotiate. So he's very smart. He figured that out. Okay. So will transit shops or skating be effective? Of course, they're talking about that. Now, I can tell you that the skating was not effective. So in the middle of Town Square is an actual skating rink. There's a LRT line. It's like a tram. It always reminds me of The Simpsons when Homer becomes the driver of the tram. So it's like one of those things that goes right in the middle. And I saw it go by many times, so nothing was affected. If anything, they've actually affected the convoy by blocking off the main street so they couldn't go on there. So this is pretty much what it was. But the CBC here has started with the freedom, the fear mongering over the Freedom Convoy, trying to paint them as if alluding that it's a bunch of white supremacists, a bunch of racists, just kind of laying down the groundwork for people to be fully annoyed and irritated if they only watch the CBC. Now, here's another thing. Hundreds of protests. This is CTV News. And they say hundreds of protesters gathered in Uptown Waterloo on Saturday amid the recent Freedom Convoy. Around noon, a crowd filled Waterloo Town Square, with one side calling for an end to COVID-19 mandates and the other ones hoping they stay in place. And what I wanted to show is that one of these articles here, let me see if I can find it really easily. There was one of the parts that says that both sides were equal. They were equally represented, both sides. But that is false. So how they got away with saying that there was the same amount of counter protesters and the same amount of mandate protesters, so like the Freedom Convoy, is they actually showed up at 11:30, and the Freedom Convoy was from 12 to 5 p.m. So, of course, because it wasn't noon yet, only a few people were there for the convoy, but they brought all of their people for the mandate, for the counter protesters, all came half an hour early. And that's when the CTV and all CBC and all those guys went and got their footage. So it was before the large crowd was there, and when they had already all of their activists on their side there. And I can tell you, the activists, they left after about an hour. And there were still convoy people coming in, new people coming in to promote freedom after the activists left. But I'm going to show you the activists here. I actually took footage, and it's very interesting. Now, I'm not a cameraman, so here we go. What I wanted to show you here is, okay, so I'm terrible because my camera, I'm terrible. But what happened? See, this is one of the counter protesters here, preceded by another one. And what they would do is they would go around the ice skating rink in a circle, and I would say there was maybe at the very most 25 people. At the very, very most 25 people. And they had all of the signs. So they had the BLM signs, they had the help save healthcare workers signs, which I don't know what that has anything to do with it. And I think it's built on the logic of the false logic, or the false lie, I should say, of whenever they actually had Trudeau said that freedom healthcare workers were being blocked from going into hospitals, which it was not true. But based on that lie, they now have posters saying, we support the healthcare workers. Of course we do. All of us do. But it has nothing to do with the freedom movement, which is trying to end the mandates for everybody. So the mandates really is like, I wanted to talk to some of these counter protesters, but they just seem so angry, and I don't know how to approach people. And I'm not very good in public. I'm kind of a massive introvert, and it's scary for me to go out there, even just to go to the protest. But the thing with the mandate is, we're not asking them to take off their mask. I mean, if they're happy with their masks, you keep them, buddy. Like, I don't care. You can tape whatever you want to your face. Honestly, it's your freedom. But the problem is when you mandate other people to do it. That's the problem. Same for the vaccine. It's fine if you want to take the vaccine. Nobody's going to stop you. Like, we're not going to stop you from taking the vaccine. But it's unethical for you to promote that we are forced to take that injection, or we lose our job, our livelihood. And there was even a crazy guy, I shouldn't say that. He wasn't crazy, but he was going around and was saying, what freedom did you lose? Tell me what freedoms you lost. And I'm like, I haven't been able to go into a restaurant for a year now because I don't have my vaccine passport. So yes, I have absolutely lost some freedoms. Other more tragic ones, because honestly, I don't care about the restaurant thing. But the more tragic one is that my children have not been able to participate in sports, not been able to go to the theater, the movie theater with their friends, not being able to go to their friends' houses because some of their friends' parents are like, well, if you're not vaccinated, you can't come into my house. So my teenagers have paid the price. They have lost the freedom that they should have had. It should have been the coolest years of their life. So yeah, it has been a huge impact. But yet, I'm not advocating to rip the mask off your face. I'm advocating for you to also have freedom. So it doesn't make sense to me. Their position doesn't make sense to me. I sincerely fail to understand the logic. I really don't. So anyways, so this was our little freedom rally there. I'm going to show you a couple more images, the better shots that I took. Just give me 1 second here to line that up. And because it was a lot of fun. It was so nice to be there and to see people that are all thinking the same way, that are all supporting each other. And it was really nice. So let me just show you a couple more. Just my computer's a little bit slow right now, so I'm just waiting for this file to open. Here we go. Okay. So we had bagpipes in Waterloo, so that was kind of awesome. I mean, we didn't have the bouncy castles from Ottawa, but we had the bagpipes. Look at this beautiful dog here. He was huge. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a dog right around here. Beautiful dog. But it was very peaceful, and the counter protesters were all standing. I'm just pause it here. They were all standing in after they stopped doing the loopy-loop around. They were standing over by this structure here, where it says "Get vaccinated." So this is where they were hanging out. And initially, when they were all there was about 25, and then about 20 of them were like going and doing the perimeter, and the rest of them were kind of hanging out here. And after an hour, they all kind of left. So it's the counter protesters were not very numerous. It was a lie from the CBC to say that there is an equal amount of both sides. And from what I can tell, and this is why I wanted to do this live stream, because even though this is not like a big city like Ottawa, Toronto, or Montreal, it's important that truth and accuracy is also reflected in small towns. And I want this to be on record that I was at the protest both days and it was peaceful. There was a lot of police there. And yesterday, a ton of police there, so much police, but the counter protesters were there. So I think they were thinking there would be some kind of a brawl between the two sides, but nothing. People were there with their kids. People were just singing "Oh Canada." They were going like freedom, freedom. But there was, and then the trucks were honking. We could hear them. They weren't going in front of us, but we could hear them all over. And it was awesome to see that. There was no altercations, no fights, no verbal accusations, no racism, no white supremacy, no hatred, nothing. It was even I saw the Chinese people that I was referring to earlier. They were trying to talk to the counter protesters to explain to them, their position. And it seemed like they were having a pretty fruitful discussion. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the guy actually red pilled a few people from the counter protest group. So yeah. And the counter protests, I mean, they were there with all sorts of like LGBT signs and all that. It had nothing to do with the Freedom Convoy, really. So I could see why there was some idea that it could be to instigate some problems. This is kind of a funny story. I saw this. It was a guy, but dressed as a woman. So I don't even know. Like I don't know, but I remember seeing the heels and I'm thinking, dude, like I love fashion and high heels, but even I wouldn't wear high heels when it's icy like this out here. But anyways, he was wearing high heels and he came and talked to us. So my husband and I, who were kind of like antisocial, not talking to anybody, he came to talk to us. And I think he was playing both sides of the coin. So I'm not sure if he was a plant, because he was saying things that were from both sides. So he was saying, "Oh yeah, and should end the mandates, eh?" And then he's trying to see what we would say, and then he would say, "Oh, but the mandates, they do good, like they do good. People need to get a vaccine, right?" So we couldn't tell if he was a plant or if he was just truly just unaware of what he was saying or believing. We just didn't know, but we did not trust him. With a 10-foot pole, I would not trust that guy at all, because when you're out there playing both sides like that, you do sound like a plant. You sound like, and my husband is a really big, like alpha male type guy, like super strong and like intimidating as heck, just in stature. And I wonder if he was trying to get my husband to go and do some beat up somebody to start something. That's what we actually thought he might be there for. So we weren't, but we just, as soon as he said, he came to my husband and he's like, "You look like you could take out somebody, like," and we were like, no, we are peaceful here. We're not taking out anybody. So I think he was a plant. So you'll never know for sure. I'll never know for sure. But it's funny that way, that it's yeah, I could see that there are people, they're doing that. And I think the protesters, some of them might have been paid, because they really looked like they didn't care at all about being there. All the freedom people were like legit, like you could see in their eyes, in their face, in their body language, that they really wanted to be there and want to try to turn around the country to bring it back to the freedom that we used to have. These guys didn't seem to care. It was a very different vibe between the two groups. And because they were going around with their LGBT signs and everything, but they didn't really care that much. They weren't there. The fervor wasn't there. That's what I'm trying to say. The fervor was not there. So it's really funny to me that the vibe between the two groups was completely different. And after an hour, they were gone. So I'm like, they must have only been paid for an hour. And then the freedom movement was still growing after that. So it's kind of awesome. But I do have a couple more videos I'm going to show you. What I've shown you to date was from yesterday. I will show you what I picked up today. So we went again today. And I think okay. So this is this one today was awesome because they let the trucks go in front of King Street. So they opened it up today. It wasn't closed. So the trucks were on King Street, which was super awesome. So I don't know who made that decision, but somebody did, and it was really awesome. So anyways, let me just share that back up here. I'm trying to get that video to play, guys. Just give me one sec. It's so slow. Holding everything. Okay, so this was again today, just a few hours ago. Same as Ottawa, just small scale. And let me just show you the one where I have my son made a poster, which we were very excited about. Just gonna get that down for you. See, we don't. This is my son right here. There we go. So he made a sign, and so this is you can see this is King Street. You can see where everybody's going through, and then the Waterloo Town Square at the back. This was the counter protesters today. And I think the whole family that was there, they were just reading what was on there. I think it was only 2 or 3. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun to go and do that and see people. And, we were very shy, so we didn't talk to too many people, but it was so nice to see that a lot of people are going out and doing this. And my son had made this freedom poster, and he was very proud of himself. And at one point, we decided to go and walk around the streets, the small side streets, because the truckers and the convoy was doing like a loop around. So we would go down on the other side and just kind of walk up the whole loop. And my son was holding his poster, and people were just like waving flags and waving at him, and it made him very proud. It was kind of an awesome moment to see that. But yeah, it was great. So we just came back from that. 2 days of mini protesting in our area, which is smaller, and I think it would be fairly it would be equal. The percentage of people that were there would be probably similar to Ottawa, but we're just such a small area. I mean, I say small, we're not that small, but we're pretty small. So anyways, it was a lot of fun, but I haven't really had a chance to look at what else has been going on everywhere else. But I did want to bring up the Winnipeg thing up here. I'm going to bring that up actually, because, oh, hang on, let me show you. Oh, this is the article where it says, let me show you. I just found it now. I had it in a separate tab. So this is the article. This is again Waterloo. So this is the same protest I was just showing you images of earlier. And it's a truck convoy for the vaccine mandates. And it was cut off from the rallying spot. Yeah. Unmasked protesters. Oh, this is another thing. If you want to know who's a counter protester in your protest, look for somebody with a mask, because nobody from the Freedom Convoy was wearing a mask. So unmasked protesters making trek on foot. So we had to walk, yeah, because you couldn't go and drive through. And of course, sheep, yeah. The counter protesters, about 100 healthcare supporters. That's not true. I did not see 100 people, and who are being fed up. I can't even read this garbage anymore. I can't. Oh God, it's just unbelievable. 100. So there's a lie right here. Healthcare supporters. The problem is the convoy isn't attacking the healthcare industry or the healthcare providers. The convoy wants to make sure that if you're a nurse and you don't want the vaccine, you're not mandated to get it or lose your job. That's what the convoy is doing. So healthcare supporters, anti-racism activists, and people who said they are fed up being held hostage by an entitled minority. Okay, what are you being held hostage against? I mean, I didn't take away your freedom, but my freedom was taken away. I can't go to a restaurant. I can't participate in society like I used to be able to. They're talking about taxing us now. I can't fly out of my country. I'm held hostage by my government. I cannot leave my country. So, I mean, what do you mean you're being held hostage? I actually can't even leave. by an entitled minority, ignored the taunts as they marched in circles with signs that read, "Love not hate, white supremacy not welcome, hate is a virus, and truck off Nazis." So I did see all of those signs. So that's true that those signs were there. There was also LGBT stuff and all that. And there was also signs saying, just shut up and get vaxxed, right? There's signs like that. Of course, this is not in here because they don't want to say that. But there were those kinds of signs in our protest. And Sunday's protest follows a much larger one in Ottawa, Freedom Convoy. Of course, in Waterloo region, they have to bring up the Nazi swastika. And I think it was the same guy with the Nazi swastika. Oh my gosh, I hope this ad isn't playing in your ears, guys. I dismissed my earbuds. No, I think we're good. Okay. Whew. But yeah, and terrorize residents. Terrorize. This is one of the new words they're actually starting to use everywhere. So not only are we terrorists, but we're terrorizing people. Racist symbols weren't seen at the Waterloo protest. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But several counter-protesters talked about an undercurrent of aggression. So remember on the left when they said, words are violence? That's what they mean, an undercurrent. So if they feel unsafe or they perceive a problem, they will say that that's violence. So this is what they're meaning here when they're talking about an undercurrent of aggression. They felt when unmasked protesters invaded their space to debate vaccine policies and provoke arguments, in some cases calling them a-holes and demanding they take their masks off. Perhaps that happened. I wasn't omnipresent at everywhere, but I did not witness this at all. For the most part, there was one guy, the guy I was telling you about, who was screaming in our faces going, "What freedoms did you lose? What freedom did you lose?" He was so angry, but it's funny how they don't mention him in here. They somehow didn't find that guy. Maybe they found one guy who was a little bit agitated. There was one guy who was from the convoy, and he was very animated. He was very like freedom, very loud in your face. So maybe that's that's the guy that they perceived an undercurrent of aggression from. Hey, maybe it was my hubby. My hubby is like very like, like alpha male, like testosterone oozing everywhere. And maybe that's maybe he was the undercurrent of aggression, because a lot of these people who were going around in the circles were like you could tell they were like beta males. Like they were wearing skinny pants and like small shoes and like I'm like, dude, it's winter, but whatever. It was funny. It was maybe that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I haven't, but I have seen the other side come out and be a bit aggressive with some people as they were going around in circles. So there's an undertone of intimidation, pointed out counter-protester Kevin, this guy, about anti-mandate opponents surrounding those in favor of provincial restrictions to control the virus. They want you to justify why they got fired. Yeah, that's true. If you're pro-mandate, we have a right to ask, why are you okay with me being fired due to the mandate that you're protecting, right? Others engaged in what seemed to be respectful debate. And it's true, there was a lot of people that were actually talking about it and trying to red pill. There was a lot of red pill efforts going on into the Waterloo protest. And 20 police officers. I saw a little bit more than that. There was more. There was even some on some of the streets beyond. But I saw at least 20 there all at the same time. And there was probably more. Probably some people up in the parking lots and stuff like that. Parking garages. So I'm just so frustrated with what's going on and people not getting vaxxed and prolonging this pandemic. So here's the thing. Trudeau, he's vaxxed, right? But didn't he get COVID like literally this week? So isn't he prolonging the pandemic? So how is the vaccination now responsible, or not being vaxxed, responsible for prolonging the pandemic when vaccinated people are getting COVID, therefore prolonging the pandemic? And see, the problem, this is where and I don't want to dog on this lady, but the problem is not the pandemic at this point. The problem is the government response to the pandemic. That's what the freedom fighters are going after. So anyways, so this is the Waterloo the one who organized a counter protest when she saw an ad for Sunday's Freedom Convoy. So, can't let a freedom convoy happen without a counter protest, boys. Have to be there. So she organized it. And we did hear some people at my son's school talking about going to this. We didn't know if there were counter protesters or freedom protesters, and we found out there were counter protesters. So that's going to be awkward on Monday. But yeah. So when she saw the post, so when she sees people who are standing up for freedom, she thought, enough. We have to show up in this public space and show them we don't agree. This is really about our community standing up for hardworking healthcare workers and to show our BIPOC community we support them. Again, I know it's very hard to understand when you're on the left, but not everything is about racism. So this might be like an aha moment for a few people. Not everything is about racism. There are some times where in society we go about something and it has nothing to do with race. And an example of that is the Freedom Convoy. It is nothing to do with race and everything to do with freedom. We want every race to have freedom. If we could get freedom all over the world, we'd love to do that, but we can't. We're Canadian. We're going to focus on Canada here. We want all Canadians to have freedom. It has nothing to do with color. But of course, BIPOC, you have to. What is BIPOC like? But I don't even freaking know. Something person of color. Does anybody in the chat know what BIPOC is for? I guess I could Google it. I just can't even keep up with this stuff anymore. I'm sure you would go to like an elderly home and you'd be like, hey, do you support BIPOC? And they would be like, yeah. And they would think it's like a sandwich or something, like the Wednesday night early bird special. Oh, God. People don't stand for, there we go. Okay, Black, Indigenous, people of color. Jeez, man. Okay, so they wanted to show healthcare workers and BIPOC community that we support them, but that it has nothing to do with what is going on. It has nothing to do. Deep breath. It's hard dealing with this all the time because I feel like it's you're how do you say, you're just banging your head against the wall and it's just shaking your head all day long. Okay, we can't let this happen. Let what happened in Ottawa again. Same thing. Proactive police deterrence, blocking street, visible presence in counter protests that at times outnumbered the one it showed to oppose. So this is a lie. This is what I wanted to show you guys. A counter protest that at times outnumbers the one it showed up to oppose. How they got away with saying this is that they had their people, the counter protest, show up at 11:30 and the Freedom Convoy showed up at 12. So at 11:30, there was only a couple early birds from the Freedom Convoy, and that's when they said, all right, look at that. The counter protest is outnumbering the actual protest. It's like, lie, you manipulate, and you think we're idiots, and nobody's going to find out about this. So the rally ran out of steam 4 hours after its 12 p.m. start. Well, yeah, it ran out of steam because it was only planned for a few hours. By the way, the counter protesters, they ran out of steam 1 hour after the protest started. I guess their skinny jeans weren't a match for our -20 or minus 16, I think it was here yesterday. Skinny jeans didn't work well for that, even if you're walking around in a circle. So they're saying it was a fantastic. So see, they made the Freedom Convoy. You've noticed here, they've managed to make the Freedom Convoy all about the counter protest. I don't know if you've noticed that little switcheroo. So it's about how the counter protest is there to prevent white supremacy and Nazis and all of that, because they're the heroes, and that's why this whole thing is there. But of course, there's the small like fringe minority of actual convoy, Freedom Convoy people, but whatever. Those don't matter. It's the counter protesters that are there. So it was important to do. And they were, by the way, they didn't show up today. They were only a few today. People need an opportunity to show the convoy organizers and the anti-vaxxers that we don't support them and they don't speak for our community. So great news is way more people showed up to support the convoy organizers. So that was kind of awesome. While peaceful overall. So this is saying, well, it was peaceful. We really couldn't find anything, but we're going to find some random stuff that we can pin to this and claim that it was during the convoy. So police reported 2 protesters were arrested inside Waterloo Town Square for trespassing after refusing demands by security to put on a mask and leave the premises. So how they were charged and released at the scene. So so if you don't wear a mask inside the mall, you're attacked with trespassing. That, just right there, that is an attack on freedom. So all of the counter protesters who are out there who are trying to say, what freedoms did you lose? Just get vaxxed and shut up about it. People are being arrested in my peaceful place for not wearing a mask going inside. They're getting arrested and they're getting pinned with trespassing. Trespassing. That's what we're trying to fight. This cannot be the world we live in. So anyways, so this is the guy who wrote the article, of course, and I didn't see very, very much presence there from the media or anything, but a lot of people were there. Like, we saw a couple teenagers were convinced they were making TikToks about that. So it was kind of awesome. So anyways, it was really epic going there. I'm really glad we went, even though it was bloody cold, and I would have rather just pretty much done anything else. I hate the cold, guys. I hate the cold. But it was really nice to see all these freedom fighters all going and kind of meeting up at one spot and having, a lot of peaceful protests and making sure that we stick it in the face of every official who has been cramming these mandates down our throats for the last 2 years, that we are not happy with the mandates. So it's going to, I think it's going to get better. This could be, I think, and I'm going to talk more about this on Wednesday, but I think the Freedom Convoy is the reason Canada and potentially Australia and New Zealand will not get to the concentration camp level that they were hoping for. So that was the trajectory we were on, was towards concentration camps. And I think the Freedom Convoy may have stopped that and reverse course on this. So I think we'll never know. Of course, I can't prove any of this, but I think that it was perhaps the one thing that freaked out the people pushing this agenda and made them realize, oh my gosh, we're going to roll out the concentration camps in Q4. We can't do it now. It's not going to fly with our people here. So hopefully, but anyways, hopefully this is going to continue. I hope there's going to be more protests like this. Feel free to send the counter protesters. There was no issue, no altercation. Of course, they can be heard. I want them to be able to go and prove their points as well, even though their points are weak and they can't debate, they just yell. So their points are just lacking too much logic for them to stand on their arguments alone. So I hope there's more protests. I hope that Ottawa doesn't give up. Oh yeah. Hey Maple, what are you saying? You're Conestoga? Yeah, Conestoga College might become, is that what you're saying? It might become the concentration camp? So, hey Linda, hope you're doing well. Yeah, Salty. Yeah, it's anyways, yeah, big shout out to the crew. There's a couple of people over there on D Live. Salty out there on D Live, pretty awesome. Oh, and hey Maple. Oh, Christian Delorme. Hello, Christian. I hope you guys are doing well. Have you been to any of the protests in your area? The Quebec protests? There's been a lot, a lot all across the world. So anyways, I'll stay for like about 5 more minutes and chat with you guys in the chat. But anybody who is done watching, I won't report on the rally anymore. I'll just speak with the chat for about 5 minutes and then I will cut this this stream and then see you guys on Wednesday. But yeah, so I don't know if anybody has been to. Have you guys been to any of the protests in your areas? And if so, you don't have to say which area you're from at all. But if so, like, did you have any issues? Like, did you notice any problems with the protests or anything like that? There's going to be. Oh, you're in Ottawa. That's amazing. Good job. I'm so glad you went. See, if I was still living in Quebec, I would have gone to Ottawa too. It's like a short drive. It's not too bad. It's a little bit crazier where I'm from. So, but, oh no, Salty, you've been missing the streams because you're working all night, eh? Oh, that sucks. I know. The Wednesday stream, like I have the usual crew that go on there. I'm trying to do a couple more streams on the weekends, especially during the convoy, just to keep an eye out on that. But oh, Christian, you're a trucker. Let's go. Let's go. You were in Ottawa. Okay, that's awesome. Here, Rage Mim in Ottawa. Were you this weekend in Ottawa? I saw Viva was out there and he did like, I don't know, 10 hours. Oh, speaking of Viva, he did 10 hours of, I have to finish my sentences. I'm so bad. He did like 10 hours of live streaming. It was pretty insane, but it looked really cool. Like I wish I had, like sometimes I wish, I don't understand why I was not given an outgoing personality. Why do I have to be the shy person that just wants to stay home? Because like I look at Viva and I'm like super like I would love to be able to do that, to be out there in the street and talking to people, but I'm like I can't, it's not me. It's not my personality. So but he did 10 hours of live streaming, talking to everybody, hugging people. People recognized him. And he seems to have had a lot of fun going out there and doing that. And I think he was doing it today as well. And yeah, it seems like a lot of fun in Ottawa. And that the media is completely bamboozling everything. They're really not about truth at all. We knew that before, but they're not about truth anymore. And they're definitely out there trying to. They're just spinning the narrative. And I just spent the whole stream today showing how they did it in my small town. They're gonna keep doing this, and it's about trying to wake up as many people as possible. I don't know. I wish I should have talked to the Chinese family that was there more, the ones that said to us that they came from China and they were there to protest because they recognize the authoritarian, the tyranny that's coming to Canada, and they fled that, and they don't want to see it happen here. And I wish I'd like almost taken down their name. Like this is again, because I'm so shy and afraid of rejection, I would never be like, hey, can I have your number? But I would love to have like chats with them and just, yeah, they seem like awesome people. And their son, who was maybe 25, 22, I don't know, somewhere around there, he seemed like he would be like amazing at red pilling people, because he was going around talking to these counter protesters, just red pill them one at a time. But I'm hoping that by seeing that, when your media is so blatantly lying to you, I don't know how else we can wake up these people. I'm going to get in trouble again for saying these people as if I'm portraying the other. I'm not. I just mean the counter protesters. How do we wake them up? How do we make sure that they actually get up and wake up to what's going on? Speaking of Viva, this is what I wanted to say. Actually, I think I took the images. I might be able to show you. This is really weird. I don't know if you guys were watching the stream, but let me just see if I can find where I put those images. I saved them somewhere, and I have to find them now. Just give me one sec, guys, because I took some screenshots from his live stream, because the YouTube was like really messing around with his view count. It was weird with the people that were on the live stream. So let me see if I can find it for you guys. I'll give me a break from talking for a minute. I wish I had something to play in the meantime. Can I do a search for that? I called it Viva. Called the images Viva. I'm just going to show you this. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to open them all up. I don't even know where I put these things. Okay. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but okay, let me show you guys. So this is from Viva's live stream yesterday. So you see at the bottom here how it says 44 watching now, and the stream started 2 hours ago. I saw that when I went to start looking at his stream, and I was like, 44, like that's the kind of viewership I get on my live streams, not Viva. Viva, he gets like thousands. So I was really puzzled by that, but I'll show you another picture that I have here, because I'll show you the same picture. So this is, see this one here? It's, I don't know if you guys can see this really clearly. Did I even share my screen? I did. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to open up another one because I have 4 of them for Viva. I'm going to open 1, and I'm going to open 2, and I'm going to show them to you side by side. Okay, something weird was going on, and I know YouTube's been working very hard in censoring people who live stream and all that. So, okay, so this one I have open twice, Viva 3. Just bear with me, guys, as I organize my life live in front of you for your viewing pleasure. I just need to get, what do I have? I have 1, 2, 3. I need 4. I need 4. Viva 4. Okay, we got this. We got this, boys. Okay. And yeah, I saw somebody said we did a stream without Faye. I know what happened. Oh, Faye, she can't be everywhere. Okay, so Viva 1, here we go. 44 watching, right? Viva 2, 17,888 watching. And again here, and see, this is, so this, I'm going to put them side by side. Going to make a nice quadrant, if you will. And see here, so 34, 44, I was like, whoa, that's not normal. And then I'm going to bring these guys up because I wanted to show you that it's within the same time frame. This one is my better one. This one is maybe the one I should go with. But so you can see this is the same guy, and this is during the same time he's talking to Viva. You can see the likes are still at 21,000 and 33. Can you guys see that? 33 here and 17,888 here. I took screenshots because I thought that was the weirdest thing, and I was wondering, and it would do that over and over again. So forgive me if I don't trust YouTube because we know that if you were streaming recently and you have a small channel and you happen to get a lot of people on your stream because people are interested in that topic, they would block your stream and say, hey, go subscribe to this person to get their count up, and then maybe we'll let them stream with more people. So I wonder if this is like another something that they have in their arsenal where YouTube would every few minutes flip it back and forth between 17,000 and 33 in order to push it down in the algorithm or something by having an average, of less than 10,000, for example. Like, I don't know if that's how it would work, but it's very suspicious. I don't know. Did anybody else notice that? Where they I don't know, maybe it happened to some other YouTubers as well, but it's been absolutely insane to watch that. I would watch it go from 33, 37, 44 to 17,000, 18,000, back down to 33, back up to 18,000. It was the weirdest thing. And to me, there's no way that's a glitch because YouTube is like the oldest of all of these channels. They should have all of these kinks ironed out. I would understand if Rumble did that, or if like one of the newer live streaming ones that are smaller, not as powerful as YouTube did that. But for YouTube to be doing that, I thought that was very, very, very weird. And I don't know what it was going on. So Nova, do you mean, I see Nova here put something in the chat. All channels had that same problem. Even Sports Channel. Was that yesterday? Is that yesterday, Nova? That you saw that? Or it's weird. Like, is that what you mean here? Let me just pop that up on the screen here. all channels had that same problem, event sports too? Is that what you mean? Like they're going back and forth between the numbers? Is that what you mean? I think, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, so is it normal? You guys are saying this is normal? So, okay, if it's normal, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I've just never seen that because I watch a lot of live streams and I've never seen it drop like that. I've never seen it. It always stays like roughly consistent. So, but yeah, thanks for letting me know. Okay. Okay, so Nova seems to has the answer. He says I'm making a fool of myself, but you know what? I always do. So I'm just asking. I didn't state this that was the truth. I'm just asking what is happening with this. But our offer, yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen that because I watch a lot of live streaming over the last few years, and I have never seen this jump like that. I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never seen that. So it was the first time I noticed. That's why I was asking. So, okay. So, okay. Yeah. Don't get mad at me, Nova. Don't get mad. Here's, here's a stop. You're making a fool out of yourself. Okay. Chill, bro. It's okay. I'm just asking questions. Okay. So, thanks, Derek. See, I'm gonna do a little bit of positive in here. I've had a lot of negative stuff thrown my way in the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna take all the positive, all the positives I can get here, boys. So, anyways, okay. So yeah, that's about it for me today, guys. I am going to go clean up my house, and I will talk to everybody and on the Wednesday stream. If you guys want to join me on that, we're going to talk a little bit more about the convoy and a lot of the issues that have been happening with the tyrannical moves that they're pushing. So yeah, and I'm sure more stuff is going to happen from now till then. So we will talk in the Wednesday stream. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody, and cheers.